Christ is the truth, the way, and the life. Now playing a recital of Almighty God's Word.
You ought to do enough good deeds to prepare for your destination. I have done much work among you, and of course, have spoken some words as well. Yet I feel that my words and work have not entirely fulfilled the purpose of my work for the last days. For in the last days, my work is not for the sake of a certain person or people, but to demonstrate my inherent disposition. However, for a myriad of reasons, perhaps a scarcity of time or hectic schedule of work, my disposition has not enabled man to become familiar with me in the slightest. Therefore, I stride forward into my new plan, my final work, to unfold a new page so that all who see me will beat upon their breast and weep unceasingly for my existence. For I bring the end of mankind to the world, and thereafter I lay bare all my disposition to mankind, so that all who know me and those who do not will feast their eyes and see that I have indeed come among men, unto the earth where all things multiply. This is my plan, my sole confession since my creation of mankind. I wish that you could wholeheartedly behold my every move, for my rod once again draws near to mankind, near to all those who oppose me. Together with the heavens, I begin the work that I must do. So I travel among the streams of people and move between heaven and earth. No one perceives my movements or notices my words. Therefore, my plan still progresses smoothly. It is only that all your senses have become so calloused that you do not know the steps of my work in the slightest. One day, however, you will realize my intention. Today, I live among you and suffer with you. I have long understood the attitude that mankind holds toward me. I do not wish to declare more clearly, much less give further instances of that which pains me in order to shame you. My only wish is that you keep all that you have done in your heart for the reckoning on the day when we meet again. I do not wish to falsely accuse anyone among you, for I have always acted justly, fairly, and with honor. I certainly wish that you are also virtuous and do nothing that goes against heaven and earth and your conscience. This is all that I ask of you. Many are troubled and not at ease, for they have committed atrocious wrongs, and many are ashamed that they have never performed a single good deed. Yet there are also many who do not feel disgraced by their sins, and instead become worse and worse, completely ripping off their ugly face, which had yet to be fully revealed to test my disposition. I do not mind or take careful notice of the actions of any one person. Rather, I do the work that I ought to learn information, roam the land, or do that which interests me. At key times, I resume my work among men as planned, lagging not a moment behind. and this is done with ease and conciseness. However, some men are cast aside with every step in my work, for I despise their flattery and feigned subservience. Those abhorrent to me will certainly be forsaken, whether intentionally or unintentionally. In short, I want all those whom I despise to be far away from me. Needless to say, I will not spare the wicked ones remaining in my house. As the day of man's punishment is near, I am not anxious to cast out all those despicable souls, for I have a plan of my own. Now is the time I determine the ending for each man, not the stage at which I began to work man. I write down in my book the words and actions of each man, as well as their path as my follower, inherent characteristics, and final performance. In this way, no manner of man shall escape my hand, and all shall be with their own kind as I assign. I decide the destination of each man not on the basis of age, seniority, amount of suffering, or least of all, the degree of misery, but on whether they possess truth. There is no other choice but this. You must realize that all those who do not follow the will of God will be punished. This is an immutable fact. Therefore, all those who are punished are so punished for the righteousness of God and as retribution for their evil acts. I have not made a single change to my plan since its very inception. It is only that, to man, those to whom I direct my words seem to be diminishing in number, as are those of whom I truly approve. However, I maintain that my plan has never changed. Rather, it is the faith and love of man that are ever changing, ever waning, to the extent that it is possible for each man to go from fawning over me to being cold to me, or even casting me out. My attitude toward you will be neither hot nor cold until I feel abhorrence and finally appoint punishment. However, on the day of punishment, I will still see you, but you shall no longer be able to see me. I already feel that life among you is tedious and dull. So needless to say, I have chosen different surroundings in which to live, so I can avoid the hurt of your malicious words and steer clear of your sordid behavior, so that you may no longer slight me and make a fool of me. Before I leave you, I exhort you still to refrain from doing that which is not in accordance with the truth. Rather, you should do that which is pleasing to all and profits all men and your own destination. Otherwise, he who suffers in disaster will be none other than yourself. My mercy is for those who love me and deny themselves. And the punishment brought upon the wicked is proof of my righteous disposition and much more, testimony to my wrath. When disaster comes, famine and plague will befall those who oppose me, and they will weep. Those who have committed all kinds of evil during their many years as my follower shall not be guiltless. They too will live in a constant state of panic and fear amidst the disaster that has scarcely been seen through the ages. And all my followers, who have been loyal to no other, shall rejoice and applaud my might. They will experience ineffable contentment and live in a joy that I have never before bestowed upon mankind. For I treasure the good deeds of men and abhor their evil deeds. Since I first began to lead mankind, I have been hoping for a group of men who are of the same mind with me. And I have never forgotten those not of the same mind. I have loathed them in my heart, awaiting only the opportunity to see my retribution administered on those wrongdoers, and relish in such. My day has finally come, and I need no longer wait. My final work is not only to punish man, but to arrange the destination of each. Moreover, it is to receive acknowledgment from all for all that I have done. I want each and every man to see that all I have done is in the right and is an expression of my disposition. It is not the doing of man, least of all nature, that brought forth mankind. On the contrary, it is I who nourish every living being among all things. Without my existence, mankind can only perish and suffer the invasion of plagues. None will ever again see the beauteous sun and moon or the green world. Mankind shall encounter only the frigid night and the inexorable valley of the shadow of death. I am mankind's only salvation. I am mankind's only hope, and even more, I am he on whom the existence of all mankind rests. Without me, mankind will immediately become stagnant. Without me, mankind will suffer catastrophe and be trod upon by all manner of ghosts, even though none take heed of me. I have done work that can be done by no other, only in the hope that man repay me with good deeds. Though few can repay me, I still conclude my journey in the world and begin on the work that will next unfold. For my journey among men these many years has been fruitful, and I am very pleased. I care not about the number of men, but rather about their good deeds. In any case, I hope that you do sufficient good deeds in preparation for your own destination. Then will I be satisfied. Otherwise, none of you shall escape the disaster. The disaster is brought down by me, and of course, orchestrated by me. If you cannot work for good in my presence, then you will not escape suffering the disaster. In times of tribulation, your actions and deeds were not entirely appropriate, for your faith and love were hollow, and you only showed either fear or strength. Regarding this, I will only make a judgment of good or bad. My concern continues to be all for your actions and behavior, on which my determination of your end is based. However, I must make it clear that I will give no more mercy to those who were utterly disloyal to me in times of tribulation, for my mercy only extends so far. Moreover, I have no liking for any who once betrayed me, much less do I wish to associate with those who sell out the interests of friends. This is my disposition, regardless of who the person is. I must tell you this: any who break my heart shall not again receive clemency, and any who have been faithful shall forever remain in my heart.
Christ is the truth, the way, and the life. Now playing a recital of Almighty God's Word.
And weep unceasingly for my existence. For I bring the end of mankind to the world, and thereafter I lay bare all my disposition to mankind, so that all who know me and those who do not will feast their eyes and see that I have indeed come among men. You ought to do enough good deeds to prepare for your destination. I have done much work among you, and of course, have spoken some words as well. Yet I feel that my scarcity of time or hectic schedule of work, my disposition has not enabled man to become familiar with me in the slightest. Therefore, I stride forward into my new plan, my final work, to unfold a new page so that all who see me will beat upon their breast. My words and work have not entirely fulfilled the purpose of my work for the last days. For in the last days, my work is not for the sake of a certain person or people, but to demonstrate my inherent disposition. However, for a myriad of reasons, perhaps a